Hey everybody, Tim's recently picked up this awesome 120 Prado, and it is pretty awesome. It's especially awesome now because we've just done injectors and suction control valve on it for the first time. It's done about 230k, so you can imagine no bull bar, all that sort of thing. Bloody awesome. It can do with a headlight job and a fog light job, I reckon, but no, the headlights are actually good. The previous owner, I reckon he's done look at them how good they look, but he should have used the mix and done the fog lights as well, don't forget those. It's got some nice new tyres on it on the positive side. Now it's time to go negative. It's not actually bad under here. I'm not going to show you the lower control arm bushes because they're actually pretty good. It has got the original suspension in it, which isn't going to help controlling the bouncing around, so avoid those speed humps. Take it easy over those. These rubber things that just hide the look of the engine from looking over the tyre through the wheel arch there. It's just cosmetic, just whatever. When they fall to pieces, get rid of them. That's what I did on my car. But I'm going to go through and just show you a couple of things that do need to be done in order of priority. Now, it's going to be impossible for you to see. The radiator, it's getting old. You can see the plastic. It's not even sort of black anymore. It's really getting light in color. It's been quite hot. The plastic's going to deteriorate. The vehicle's about 17 years old. It's hard to show you this, but you can see the stain of coolant on the bottom of the radiator. See that stain along the bottom there? All right, but where's it coming from? Probably further up, usually on the end of the core. If you look right up, it's going to be hard for you to see in the picture. I'll try and hold the camera still. Right in the middle of the picture where it's not focusing, right up there, there's a little bit of pink stuff coming out right at the end of where the core hits the aluminium at the end there. So it's very minor. So it's not like, oh no, I've got to change the radiator now. It's like, keep an eye on it. My V6 is doing the same thing. I've got a new radiator there. I haven't put it in yet. It'll be fine for years. It's only going to get worse very slowly. Certainly keep an eye on the coolant level because you never know, but I've never seen one get bad really fast. Get a radiator while you can. Yeah, it's going to cost you some money, but I still believe best vehicles ever built, and buying some parts from one of these is much better than those bloody new car options that are expensive. And I'll tell you what, you wouldn't want to look at that one of those at 17 years old, I'm telling you right now. Okay, so moving on. Let's move for a positive. I said positive was the tyres. Negative was we got a bit of a radiator leak. Positive was the bushes are looking good. We don't need to look there. Negative is it's going to need some suspension sooner or later. You can't keep the old original suspension forever. Standard sweats on the lower ball, the upper ball joint, I meant to say, sorry. I've had a couple of gins. I'm on my third gin. So car went up on the hoist. I'm finished for the day. There's no more driving. There's no more working on cars. I'm just doing an inspection video. How wrong could it go, right? I said I wasn't going to show you those bushes, but there they are. See how good they are? Just that little split starting on the right there. They look a bit stressed, but that's because it's up on the hoist. Whoever serviced it last, not very good at replacing sump plug washers and cleaning up after themselves, or it's probably just got a slow leak because, again, they couldn't afford a sump plug washer because they're cheap. You get what you pay for. Come to the Prado Hospital. We just do things right the first time. We haven't lubed this all its life or at all, but looks like it's a bit messy because it's been lubricated, which is a good thing. Transfer case, standard leak, not really. It looks pretty good to me. There's no oil leaking out of there, so that's a good one as well. Transmission pan, probably never been touched, never had an oil change, I'd say, from looking at that and that. And it's got the original pan gasket. I can confirm that's what original one looks like. They look like black rubber, but I reckon they're a bit of a cork rubber mix. I don't know what it is. The Toyota engineers, they'll know exactly what it is, but I'm not one of them. I can just say it's good stuff, leave it alone. What we're going to do is check for missing bolts. Just quickly, I don't see any missing bolts. That's what you got to start looking for as they get older, because you can have one drop out. 4.5 Newton meters, but you can't redo it on the old gasket. So you just got to get your little quarter drive and super gently, just have a feel and make sure it's all nice and even. If you got one loose, then just give it a gentle nip. Now that turbo, bone dry, awesome, and it sounds good on the big road test. Injector's done, engine's good, it's bone dry, transmission's bone dry. We've got a good vehicle here. Let's keep moving back. It could do with the clean up. It's 17 years old, right? Never been off road, no damage on the fuel tank. Okay, I'm going to tell you what's going on here. See all this? This looks like someone spilled oil on the bottom of the fuel tank guard, doesn't it? Right now, don't fill it up too much at the moment. Invest in a replacement fuel filler hose. All the regulars know what I'm talking about, because they're subscribed with the bell on and they haven't missed a thing, and they know everything that I know, because what I know I put in videos, and every now and then I repeat myself, but not too often because some people get sick of it. But you know what? New people come along and they don't know, so we've got to do it again. These fuel hoses on the 120 Prados, LC 120 Land Cruiser, they do get a bit old and hard, and on the petrol V6, they crack up, leak fuel everywhere, really dangerous. So if you've got a V6, get right onto it. I don't really care. unless it's been done. Give it a squeeze. If it's soft, it'll be all right. They generally go a bit hard on the diesel because it goes hard. Because it's hard, it doesn't seal as well. So when this tank gets filled up, it's probably slowly leaking out at that end where the clamp is there, right? And it's leaking down the back of the tank. That's why the dust is stuck to it. And that's why it comes down onto this fuel tank guard and looks the way it does. No, that's not a fresh paint job. That is a bit of diesel. So that's what's going on there. It's all a real thing. Okay, let's go straight to the back now and work our way forward because we're running out of time. Could keep this one to 10 minutes. Exhaust system, beautiful. Tow bar, beautiful. Rear bar, beautiful. Rear tank, no damage, never been off-road. What an awesome vehicle. I'd certainly go and buy one of these before a new Prado, but each to their own. Fuel tank, when it fills up, comes down that main pipe. Once it gets full, going down this pipe through that one that's leaking, it diverts off the side. Some of it will do that anyway, but most of it will go straight down that pipe, and some of it will then, once it's full, mainly down there, divert off the side pipe into this tank here. A little bit of bonus info for you. Thanks for sticking around, right? Obviously new tyres. I think he's probably got the tyres and the roof rack since he picked up the car, but I can't remember because I work on Prados and Hiluxes only, and everyone's got a similar story. And as soon as the end of the day comes along, it's another Prado and Hilux the next day, and I don't really remember, right? Rear brake pads, quite low, so time to get on to lsiauto.com.au. That's where you get your genuine brake pads cheaper than the dealer, and of course with our discount code 4B4-2025, FOURBY number 4-2025. Nothing in it for me. I just set up the deal to save you people money. The more I do for you, the more it seems to just come back and repay me. So I'm just going to keep doing it because that's how it all started, and it's bloody awesome. And where's the problem, right? So yeah, tyres are good. Probably some suspension. Definitely a fuel hose is on the priority list. Everything under here looks good. It could do with a cleanup. I'd love to see someone under here with some degreaser and a pressure washer really carefully, not pushing dirt and debris into seals and stuff like in there and stuff like that. Don't do that, but just a general, even degreaser and a scrub. Some of this you might have to grab a rag and get down here, a bit of elbow grease, and just give all that thicker stuff a bit of a wipe off to clean it up. Then some degreaser, a bit of elbow grease. Love the vehicle, look after it, and it'll look after you. Transmission, I'd recommend a transmission all flush, of course, because this is as expensive as the engine, this thing in the picture right here. You can get them new for the 150s, not for the 120s, but I believe they'll be basically about the same. And if anyone needs one, well, we'll sacrifice one as long as they're still available, and we'll put a 150 transmission in a 120 just so we confirm it's basically the same thing, because it is an A750F. I'm not sure what'll be different. There'll be a couple of plugs or things that we can change around off the old one. I'm pretty confident, but there's only one way to find out. Transmission flush, though. We've got a transmission playlist there. Check out our playlist, subscribe, turn the bell on, learn about if you want to get an injector kit, text message service only. Those front pads there looking pretty low as well. I can't see too much though. I'll stick it in there. There's a bit of meat there left, right? Not too bad, but they're getting down a bit. As they get lower, they get hotter, you're more likely to get brake pulsation. When they get hotter, they wear out quicker, all these sorts of things. There's that plug that eventually you might want to replace the plug in the rubber, but it's not leaking at the moment at only 17 years old. Testing of how good these cars are. What else can I say about this thing? Okay, let's have a look at the drive shaft. Drive shaft, boots are good, never been off-road, beautiful. This is a pretty standard, starts to ooze out the inner drive shaft boot. Nothing too much to worry about. Maybe until they get worse or they've done. We recently did one. Hey, Julian, I'm pretty sure you'd be watching. We did his car at about, I think it was about 450,000 Ks. This oozing out the boot was getting a bit worse. So this has got a couple 100,000 Ks left in them. This one's not bad at all. Boots are good. CVs are good. But once they start to get a split boot or lots of grease coming out, or you're doing the wheel bearings maybe at that many Ks, I think he might have got wheel bearings twice, but I don't know if we did the wheel bearings or we did them a little while ago. This one hasn't got play in it. They're not noisy, but I'd recommend, based on averages, 200,000 Ks is when to replace these front wheel bearing assemblies. We've got them sitting over there on the shelf ready to go. Send them anywhere in Australia, along with the BFE kits, which this one probably needs a BFE kit sooner or later. Maybe push it out towards 300, but the coolant's pretty terrible looking, so I want to get the coolant out. So I think that pretty well wraps it up. It's still worth doing a coolant change, but there's the plug there for you, right? So you just loosen that off till the coolant comes out that hole in the bottom there, let it all drain out. There's a block plug I'm not too worried about, but that's a bit difficult to show you in this video. It's in the other video, so check those out. I really, if this was my car, I want to get the coolant out and get some new genuine coolant in there. I don't want to risk putting other garbage in there either. So check out the other videos, subscribe, turn the bell on. I've talked enough. I've got to finish that gin before it melts and catch you in the next video. See ya.